Hello friends, today we'll be talking about the native whose details are December 25th, 1983 and the time of birth is 7:55 a.m. morning, Los Angeles. The birth tithi is Krishna Paksha Ashtami and the nakshatra, Janam nakshatra is Pur Falguni. As usual, we start with the ascendant degree. The ascendant degree is 23 degree 3 minutes. So ascendant will not change within a half an hour or so. If we see the D9, the Namansha will change after 1 minute. Like his time of birth is 7:55. If we make it 7:56, the Namansha will change. So I'll be not focusing on this Namansha since I'm not talking about the regional charts. I'm just focusing on the Lagna chart, the ascendant chart only. So, but Namansha may change because if I change the time from 7:55 to 7:56. So let's start with the Lagna chart only, the D1 chart. The ascendant is Sagittarius and the lord of Sagittarius is Jupiter. As I discussed before, the Sagittarius is the fiery sign. You see 159, Aries, Leo and Sagittarius are the fiery sign. It means they are very aggressive natives, and especially Sagittarius, they want a dominance in their life also. Since Jupiter, Sun and Mercury sitting in his first house in the ascendant only, Jupiter, Mercury got directional strength in the ascendant. Jupiter in the ascendant lord sitting in the ascendant is very good position. Mercury is lord of 7th and 10th house in ascendant, very good position. Even it's retro also. I told you before, when the planet become retro, it's become very powerful because it's come very close to the earth. And Mercury also got directional strength in the ascendant. So Lagna lord in the ascendant, Mercury is in the ascendant along with the sun in the ascendant. Sun is lord of 9th house. It's become a Rajyog. It's a very good horoscope. I'm telling you. You see, in the ascendant, 9th and 10th lord are conjunct. This is called one of the best Rajyoga called Dharam Kendrapati Rajyog. Very good combination. It's very good Lagna. Very good ascendant. Sun is the ego also. The native become little bit egoistic also. And I told you before, whenever any house lord is conjunct with or placed with the ascendant lord or in ascendant, the native will get the result of that particular house. So here the 9th house lord, the 7th house lord, the 4th house lord, the 10th house lord in ascendant. So native will enjoy all the significance of the 4th house, 7th house, 10th house and 9th house. The second house is a Capricorn sign and the lord of Capricorn, Saturn, is in 11th house and it's exalted. You see, this become a very good money combination. Whenever second or 11th house have some relationship, it's a very good combination for the wealth. Here the second lord, Saturn, is exalted in the 11th house. If I see further this Saturn is an Amansha of Pisces. This is a very good chart. This is a very good chart. Money wise, we know the second house significance. It's my family. We see the accumulation of wealth from the second house. My speech, my eating habits from the second house. The lord of second house sitting in the 11th house. 11th house represent fulfillment of desire. And it's sitting with the 11th house lord only, Venus. It's a very good combination for the wealth. Saturn is also a lord of third house and third house sitting in the 11th house. Some text says that the native don't have any sibling, but some of the text says about this because he may be the eldest one and the youngest one also. So it's only one single child of the family. Fourth house represent my home, my happiness, my property, my mother. So the lord of fourth house is well placed in ascendant, that is Jupiter. Fifth house is is the Aries sign in this Sagittarius natal chart, and the Lord of Aries sitting in the 10th house. Now you see the Mars is in 10th house. It's a very good placement for the Mars because Mars get directional strength over here, and the Lord of 5th house in 10th house is very good position. But here Mars is also owns the lordship of 12th house. So this brings some obstacles in his career. Being a fiery planet, even Mars is well placed in 10th house in Virgo sign. Even sign is not comfortable for the Mars. Even I see further the Mars is Virgotam. It's the same sign in Namansha chart also. So Mars is very powerful. But being a lordship of 12th house, it may give some obstacle to native regarding his career. Even Mars is a significant of brother also. So if he has some brothers, some siblings, the male siblings, he might face some argument with them also. Next house is sixth house. Sixth house represent my depths, my diseases, and it's also a house of day-to-day competition. So Rahu is exalted here because some texts say Rahu is exalted in Taurus, some says it's Gemini. I personally take Rahu exaltation in Gemini, not in Taurus. But even though Rahu is well placed in sixth house. Next house is seventh house. Seventh house represent my marriage, my life partner, my business partner. Again, the seventh house Lord is sitting in the ascendant. So it's very good position for the Mercury because Mercury gets directional strength in the ascendant only. Now the things are more different what I said you before. You see the most important house in the natal chart is ninth house. Why ninth house? This is my fortune. If I am fortunate, everything will happen good for me. If I am not, the thing may go either way. The eighth house Lord sitting in the ninth house. Whenever the eighth house Lord sit in any house, it gives resistance for that particular house. We won't get the full results from that particular house. This is not a good combination placement for the moon in ninth house. Ninth house in Leo sign is okay, but it's being a lord of eighth house. The fortune, the highest state is father. You see, the lord of ninth house is well placed in the ascendant, but the ninth house is afflicted here, even though it's aspected by the Jupiter. And is aspected by the Saturn also. But the moreover, the eighth house placement in ninth house is not a good position. Ninth house is very important house in all the 12 houses in natal chart. This is called my fortune house, my Bhagyasthan. So this is a problem in the whole chart. Otherwise, this chart is very good chart. And further, I see the Mars placement in 10th house is very good. 11th house is very strong. The 11th Lord in 11th house along with the second house Lord Saturn is a very good placement. And the Ketu in 12th house is very comfortable as Ketu is having a lordship of Scorpio and is sitting the Scorpio in the 12th house. It's a very good chart. Only the problem is the 9th house get afflicted. How it's afflicted? The placement of 8th house Lord in 9th house, and that moon is aspected by Saturn also. Even it's aspected by Jupiter also, but it's also aspected by Saturn. And there are partial aspects also, which I think many less people knows. So I'm not talking about the partial aspects, but even the Saturn is aspecting this moon, Jupiter is aspecting this moon, but the 9th house, the 8th house Lord in 9th house, there is some problem regarding this 9th house. He may face obstacles regarding higher studies. The luck factor may not work as this chart is very good. It's having a multiple Raj Yogas in this chart. Very good combination, very good chart. But only the placement of 8th house in 9th house decreases the efficacy of the yogas. Anyway, solved destiny. Everything is pre-written. Nothing is in our hand. If we see the dasha, the present running time, this native is running with the Rahu main period and the sub period of the Venus according to my chart, this chart. because I have some different calculation method to costing a chart. So according to this, my calculation is running with the Rahu Venus period, and Venus is well placed, no problem, and it's in Gemini Namansha, so it's in 7th house. So very good time for the marriage is running. Started in year, yes, from August 2020. So it's a three-year period. Second, after Rahu, the Rahu will runs up to 2026. After then, he will get the Jupiter Dasha, and Jupiter is that will be a very good Dasha for him. The Jupiter Dasha will be very good for him, very good for him, because if I see the Rahu Dasha, Rahu is well placed in 6th house, but is in the Cancer Namansha, and it's become the 8th house of the natal chart. So he might face it's on and off position for him. Sometimes he's do good, sometimes bad, because 8th house is a house of sudden things. Sometimes the graph goes up, sometimes the graph comes down. Now I will show some different chart to you also this time. The same chart on the different software. I have cast this chart in my natal stellar astrology software also. You see, this is the stellar astrology software. I usually use three softwares to analyze the chart. The previous one is a Jagannath Hora chart, which shows the Vedic astrology chart. Here we are seeing the calculation according to the unequal division of the planets. This is called Placidus system of the. I will show the. I will show you the. Yes, this is a chart. You can see the chart is same. Sidereal ascendant. All three planets, Sun, Mercury, and Jupiter, are sitting here. Why I'm showing you this chart? I want to show you the nakshatra position and nakshatra level calculation for this native. You see, this is a stellar astrology software, and we can see that presently he is running with the Rahu Dasha, and according to this chart, if his time is correct, I do not think that Rahu Dasha is going well for him. If this time is correct, because in stellar astrology, as you can see, I usually rectified the birth time of 2 milliseconds to read the chart through stellar astrology. In Vedic, I usually set the business charts and read the chart. But when I use the stellar astrology software, I usually correct the time up to the milliseconds. Because the planets, the sub-lord and sub-lord are changed within a few seconds span. So here, if his time is correct, the Rahu Dasha, I do not think that he will get is getting very much good result from Rahu Dasha. But once she will get the Jupiter Dasha, the Jupiter Dasha will be very good for this native. So this is a stellar astrology software. But here we need to have very correct birth time to see the chart. And this is the chart to the Vedic astrology. So friends, this is a small interpretation. It's not a prediction. It's just an analysis of the chart. The birth detail is 25th December 1983 and the birth time is 7:55 a.m. California. So it's all for today, friends. We will see you on the next video. Till then, goodbye.